Hi there everyone on YouTube, this is Geoff from geoffmobile.com. Today I'm going to do a 3-minute movie review of the second movie in the Twilight series. It's a teenager movie, mostly enjoyed by teen girls. It's called New Moon, and I got this movie because it was $5 in a bargain bin at a discount clothing store. So I thought, well, might as well give it a try, see what all the hype is about for this movie. Came out a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. This is a very popular series of movies. It kind of ranks up there with, the Justin Bieber of culture, I guess you could say. The movie is a teen kind of soap opera, kind of moody, depressing, emo kind of a film. Shot in the Pacific Northwest of, supposed to be in the United States, but actually it's filmed in Vancouver, where I live. So I didn't recognize some of the landmarks, but it's kind of like looks like Pacific Northwest. What can I say about this movie? Well, obviously it's made for teenagers. It has sort of teenage romance with a lot of, people who are lonely and people who are yearning for something they can't have. It also has, I guess, some beautiful looking characters, like nice looking, beautiful young actors, if you like that kind of thing. The characters are kind of interesting. Like there's a werewolf, a guy who turns into a werewolf, Jacob, who also fixes motorcycles. There's a vampire who drives fancy Volvos, Edward, who's very pale, and when he goes out in the sun, he sparkles. So in this alternative world, instead of vampires getting killed when they go out in the sun, they just get sparkly, And of course, Bella Swan, who's the star lead character, who's the girl in the movie, she's torn between, I guess, two different guys. She has to choose between the werewolf on one hand, who has a nice, healthy skin tone, or the vampire on the other hand, who is very pale. Of course, he seems to be richer and more sophisticated. Eventually she chooses, well, I'm not going to tell you who she chooses, because that's one of the main plot devices of this movie, is what does she do? In any case, I don't regard this film, or the series of films, the Twilight films, as being a huge, amazing cinematography event. They're not worthy of Academy Awards, but they did capture quite a big audience of the teenage market, and they are quite nicely filmed. The lighting is very nice. Every shot is, even though the lighting is probably not realistic, it is very beautiful, and it captures the mood of the dark, moody kind of atmosphere quite well. And from an editing perspective, they're nicely edited together. Sound is good. There's a nice classical kind of soundtrack going along with the film. The first Twilight film used a lot more classical music. They even had the Clair de Lune scene in a fancy Edward's bedroom, of course. It's like a teenage soap opera. The characters are okay. The story is kind of sad and depressing and slow, but I guess if you like to get immersed in what the teenagers these days, especially teenage girls, are into, maybe if you're interested in marketing towards that segment, if you're a marketer, or just learning, what those kids are up to these days, it's not a bad video to watch, especially if you can get it for $5 or less at a discount mart like I did. It's interesting that I got the 2 DVD set. One DVD is just all the special features, and there's a 45-minute documentary about the making of, which I have not seen. In any case, it wasn't a bad use of a couple hours. I had a couple friends over. We laughed the whole time. There's all these ridiculous kind of silly things going on, and it wasn't that bad of an evening. So I'm interested to know your comments on the movie Twilight and the sequel New Moon. Do you think it's absolutely rubbish? Or after hearing me talk about it, do you think it's something you'd ever want to see? Please leave your comments below. If you're a big Twilight fan and you're surprised at why a 30-year-old Vancouver guy is talking about Twilight for 3 minutes, also please leave your comments below too. I know my tastes are quite diverse. I watch, Stanley Kubrick on one end and Jim Jarmusch, and then I watch Twilight, and I even have listened to some Justin Bieber music in the past. I haven't listened to it for several months. But I am interested in pop culture and what's popular these days, and especially tuning in with the younger generation, because those are the people who are going to become our world's future, I guess you could say. In any case, hope you have a great night or great day, whatever time it is where you are, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.